Well, good morning. It's travel day. Actually, last night was travel day. We're lucky enough to have some relatives who will watch our dog for us, but it is a 4-hour drive to get here. But we get a direct flight out of O'Hare. So, came in last night, and then this morning, I'm going to be ordering the lift here real soon. Standard amount of luggage, I'm sure. I'm sure. But the plan today, I'm always nervous. I'm a nervous traveler. I want to be there about 2 hours early. We're about 45 to an hour away from O'Hare right now. Our flight's at 10:30 right now, so after 8. So I want to go ahead and order the lift and start getting going. But 10:35 flight to Miami, and then we get in after 3 time change. So hopefully everything's going to go as planned. Always feel better once the wheels take off the ground and we get there. A normal amount of luggage, I'm sure, for 3 people, right? So this is how we're traveling with 2 adults and a 5-year-old for about 10 days. So we'll see how that goes. Travel day is really a battle of wills between me and my wife in terms of I want to be there 2 hours before the flight, and she doesn't, especially in the morning. So we had a 10:45 flight, a little earlier than some of the flights we've had recently. So we got to the airport about an hour 45 before the flight. Did curb check, since that's where we were right there. We got dropped off, tip the guys a couple dollars, check the bags, and then went into security. And, it was 10-15 minute TSA pre-check security line, nothing too bad, although people were getting anxious about it. I remembered to empty Benjamin's water bottle, but I left it in my backpack, and of course they needed to search my backpack for his water bottle, which they pulled out and were ready to lecture me as they were unscrewing the lid, but it was empty. So, but still, next time I just need to leave that in the bin. So we get through security, get rearranged, get everything back in my pockets, phone, wallet, all that kind of stuff. And we had to go under, we're in B, we had to go under the, under the terminal to the next concourse C, and you get the United music and the lights, do. We got over to concourse C and, put in an order for Starbucks on my phone because my wife wanted to have a chai for the morning. It said 15 minutes. It was really like 25. We really don't have a good cadence, I don't think, for our travel days yet with Benjamin because we can't really split up and conquer multiple things. We were, like going to the I hate taking bags and stuff into the bathroom. So waiting for the Starbucks and then kind of waiting for us to get back together. And then, suddenly we're boarding. We didn't really get the opportunity to get breakfast or some food that, we're kind of hoping to get. So, and I hadn't pre-ordered lunch or any of the snacks either that you can do with United. So I ran across the way from our gate to get some chips and hummus and water and stuff like that since we couldn't really get to like a fast food restaurant. And then we boarded. And the nice thing about having the branded credit card is, even though we were way in the back of the plane, like almost completely back, we boarded in zone 2, which, we have plenty of bag space. We always have a couple carry-ons. We have Benjamin's bag. We carry that on. That has his lovey and, his clothes and stuff. So we don't check that because we don't even want to think about losing his lovey. And then I have my backpack and I have my CPAP. And then Jessica has a bag. And we have Benjamin's backpack too. So, we take a little bit of space in the overhead, but not a huge amount. Benjamin's bag goes up and then Jessica's carry-on goes up. And then the rest kind of goes under our seat. We sat there for quite a bit on the tarmac, and I wasn't sure why. I was a little worried because there was a huge plume of smoke that came out of the engine when they started him up. And I was like, oh, is that why we're waiting? I guess it could have been. I don't know. I was also doom scrolling the app because I had all the tracking information from my bag, was scanned here, scanned here, scanned here, scanned here, and then it's on the plane, and then Jessica's bag was scanned at the bag check, and that was it. Had not been scanned since, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose the bag. I'm like going through my travel insurance on my phone, trying to see how that works, all that kind of stuff. Of course, like right when we're waiting, we waited a long time, and then the bag mystically appeared, scanned onto the plane. So technology is supposed to be helpful to set your mind at ease. That caused me stress for like 20 minutes, and then it ended up being fine. Oh well. So we got on the flight. The pilot was worrying about some turbulence, and so that was exciting. And you know, Benji's at that age too, where you know every new bathroom is exciting. So we probably had to use that lab on the plane at least 3 or 4 times. That's always fun. You know, everyone loves mobile bathrooms. But you know, we finally got up in the air. Of course, they're doing construction at O'Hare, and so it's like a 25-minute drive around the airport in the plane to get to the runway. So that was fun too. But you know, we got up in the air. We're going. They eventually got us our snacks, and then we had the stuff that I brought or I bought right before we got on the plane. We landed. No big deal. We and back of the plane though, right? Back of the plane. So it was forever for us to get off. We finally got off. Go to the bathroom, all that kind of stuff, and then we got down to the luggage carousel, and of course our bags probably circled like 4 times by that point. But we got our bags and got to our got a lift to the airport. So it was a fine flight on United. I think it was when I actually paid cash for the tickets, 2 free check bags with the co-branded credit card. It was fairly, I mean, I'll say fairly cheap. I mean, you know, it was like $120 a piece for one way. I mean, it's not, you know, $10 on Spirit, which, you know, it's a good thing it wasn't on this trip, evidently. But you know, it was for a mainstream airline with free bags. It wasn't too bad. So then we decided to stay at the Intercontinental, and I'll let past me talk about that from the room. We had an okay travel day yesterday. Got to the airport in our lift. Didn't lose my CPAP. Like, I left that behind before the security last time. Luckily, I was able to get it back. Got an Uber to our hotel. No issue. I've started doing Uber or Lyft XLs for the 3 of us. And I've tried Comfort. I've tried the regular ones. I just think with 3 of us, when my son still needs a car seat, we have an inflatable car seat. And, you know, 2 big bags, carry-ons and stuff that a regular car, I don't like trying to squeeze everything in or having to put bags in the front seat or something like that. This time, on Uber XL, there were 2 pilot seats, captain's chairs, so there wasn't a bench, which meant, and so we didn't have them pop the 3rd row, because then again, that also was less baggage. Took a while to get down to the Intercontinental Miami, which is where we were staying. Traffic seemed like it was kind of a mess, which I've heard rumors about. Probably 25 minutes to get here from the airport. And I want to say the ride was still like $40, $45 for an Uber XL. I know taxis are another route you can go to, but I have Uber credit that I had bought from a previous trip, so I thought I should go ahead and use it. So we got to the hotel. It was already time to check in. It was 4, a little after. We got our room, went and checked out the room, checked out the club lounge, and then we ended up, it was before dinner, so we ended up walking along the ocean or the bay down to the market, and we ended up just grabbing a quick lunch. And by this time, we really hadn't eaten anything substantive, because we had planned to get sandwiches and stuff in O'Hare, but we didn't have the time. I ended up grabbing, you know, a bag of chips, some hummus, some fruit, you know, those types of things, and you know, that didn't end up really being enough. So we were all kind of hangry by the time we landed. Benjamin was super tired. He just was, I mean, he was cooped up for 3-4 hours, right? And then tired and hungry. So he was just kind of bouncing everywhere. So we made it through dinner. We came back. The pool was closed or was closing right when we got back. So we ended up going to bed. The travel day was tiring. It was enough to take it out. So we're going to Hawaii. towards the end of the year, and so I'm kind of nervous about what that flight experience is going to be like. Anyway, just wanted to give a little overview of what our travel day was like.